For this project, I want to draw a picture of a sleigh. And as I'm drawing, if you see something that you want to change, it's okay. You can make it different. Be creative. That's part of art. Alright, we'll get started. Your paper needs to be in the landscape direction, which is like this. And we're going to go about 2 fingers off the bottom and put a dot. And then we're going to stretch the line out this way, and we're going to stretch it out this way. Alright, so I've got my 2 points for the length of the sleigh runner, and I'm just going to put that line in there. I'm drawing very lightly. I'm going to turn the paper to where I can draw more easily. And if you draw light enough, then it's very easy to remove the unwanted lines. I don't know anybody that can draw without making a mistake now and then. Alright, we'll turn that up on the end later, but let's double it up right here for now. We'll come back to it later. Now as you bring this line down, just watch this spacing. And this line doesn't have to be straight because it's sitting in the snow. As a matter of fact, it would have an irregular, it wouldn't be straight. The snow would be up on the runner some. But if you get crazy with that, that's not going to look right. So, alright, go back in here somewhere, and we're going to make an A, and then go over here somewhere and make another A. Try to make them the same at the top. Make them the same height. And we'll double those up in a few minutes. But for now, we need to make a straight line between the tops of these 2 A's. And then you just keep going a little ways on both ends. So stretch that on out like that. And this is what you should have. Now just put your finger right here at the end of this line. And we're just going to hook back onto this and go that way. You can put a little curve in it, or you can make it straight. Either one will work. And we'll go over here. Now back here, we need to go ahead and just start bending that line that way a little bit. And then we're going to go about 3 fingers out this way, because we want the back of the sleigh to be taller than the front of the sleigh. And you can put a line that curves. It's a reversing curve. Let me show you. It could either go, this is a reversing curve. It starts one way and ends up another way, or we could just go straight. So I'm just going to go straight on this one. Keep it simple and easy. And we'll deal with this later. We're going to go back to the front now, and just put your finger back in here like this and slide it up, because we want to make a rainbow as big as our finger. Just like that. Want to make a rainbow shape. And you can go ahead and put a circle on the end of that. Now if your circle is not perfect, that's okay. We're going to put another rainbow shape over top. So I'm going to jump up not even a finger, just maybe that much. And I want to follow this around. I'm just going to sketch because it's easier to get it right. And I'm going to hook in right there. Maybe it would be better to hook in below. I'm going to bring that on around. Normally I edit these mistakes out and you don't ever get to see them, but sometimes I think it might be good for me to leave them in there so you can see that after a long time drawing, I'm still not perfect. Alright, now I'm going to turn this into a big curved line. Reminds me of the bottom of a bowl. If you turn your paper this way, it's like the front of a letter D. And I want to bring this even with this. So as I draw here, I'm thinking about there. And I'm going to stop it right there, because at that point, I want to bend it and head that way. So I'm going to bend this line this direction, and then I'm going to run it. This is my target, and if I miss the target, it's okay. I'll connect them later. And it looks like I'm going to miss it a little bit, but that's simple. You just go back and stretch that out a little bit. Okay, I want to put a curve in this line, so I'm just going to curve it like that. And I'm going to run it from back to the same point. I'm going to keep this spacing about the same as I go, though. I'm going to let it blend in right there. Just blend in right there. It's a little early for detail, but it's simple and easy to do, and I'm going to go ahead and put some on here. It just kind of makes it look good as you go. Didn't need that last one. Alright, we need to get a seat. So, well, let you get caught up there for a minute. Now we need lots of room for toys, and I think we got it. Now if you need to check it out, correct any mistakes, just when you erase, be careful. If you rub a hole in your paper, that's not going to help anything. Alright, I'm going to put a seat in here, and it just goes out a little ways. It's shaped like that. Your eyes can tell you more than I can with my words. Alright, now let's go back down here and work on these things. I'm just going to double up these lines. And again, it's so easy to add the detail now while I'm working in that area. Just go ahead and do that. Same thing over here. In art, the best way to work that I have found, and artists seem to be in agreement with that, is you get the big shapes first. You do the big important things first, and then you go back and do the detail later. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this up, and it just goes up and comes back down. On the back, let's see. We could turn it up a little bit, but really doesn't need much work there. Just cap that off. And this will be the snow that goes on across like that. And the snow would not be perfectly smooth, so we can indicate that it's not by putting a few little markings like that. Now in the picture I showed you at the beginning, I had a chimney in there, and you're welcome to try that, but I didn't really leave room for it on this one because I wanted to make more room for, well, I wanted the sleigh to be bigger. I've changed the design on it a little bit. Sometimes I do that as I draw them, time after time. Sometimes I decide, well, I want it different, and to make it different. Alright, now for the toys, let's go in here and make some toys. I'll show you, it's pretty much the same stroke pattern that I use for trees and bushes, except that I add this funnel shape thing at the top. Now if you want it to be a little bit more fancy, now a straight line will work, but if you want to put some little curves in it like that, that looks even better in my opinion. Then a couple loops to show that it's tied up, a couple strings, and pretty good to go right there. If I do a present, now you can do it flat. This is flat. You're just looking straight on to the end of it, or side, whatever, and then you can put your ribbon on it, put a bow up there, or probably right here, and you can make this different. But if you want it to be a little more 3D, then you go to this line and figure out what it's doing, and you do the same thing but not as tall. Just make it shorter, and then you slant to the corner. And of course this ribbon now would wrap around too, and it would slant also. Then you got a 3D box, and we might be able to get a candy cane in there somewhere, so let's try that. Now if you don't want to do this, you don't. You can do whatever creative thing you want to do. You don't even really have to fill it with this kind of thing. I mean, you could still have toys or presents of your own creation. I just like them in bags because it's simpler and easier to draw. Don't have to spend 45 minutes drawing each individual thing, and besides, you wouldn't carry toys out in the open anyway. Alright, another bag. Make it different if you choose, or make it the same. Another box maybe. Don't do the 3D if you have concerns about it. Just do it flat. I think I'll put the ribbon or the bow on top this time. Another bag maybe in behind that. Alright, let's load him up. Could darken this line right here because that was sketched lightly. Now maybe yours is already dark, so you don't need to do that. You can just be catching up on something else while I'm fixing this. I got room for one more thing. I don't know, maybe another candy cane. And I don't know, we might be able to squeeze in one more thing back there. Now, I normally do not like to clutter an area up, and that's kind of cluttered, but that's what it would be. We're not going to try to fit a reindeer in there. We're not going to try to put Santa on the seat. We're kind of going to stay with what we got. I'm going to put another bag in here. Maybe I can fit one more. Well, I could stack them up to the top of the paper, but I'm not going to. It's probably not a good idea. I think it's enough. Is it ever enough? Yeah, it's enough. Alright, I'm going to put a big bow in here, and I'll show you that, the old one. And that one got a little bit crooked. We'll do better on it this time. Alright, if you want to do the bow, then check this out. Start with a circle, and then give it 2 lines as if it's got arms that are stretched way out. And then drop down here and do the same thing, but slant down instead of up. Okay. Hook on here and bend this down and then come around until you hook back on. Bend it down and then go around. Come back on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Helps it look like it's drawn together. You know, things kind of get that little wrinkly effect there when you tie it up. Now, if you want it with loops in the bottom, just do loop-de-loop, and it a little bit makes it 3D. Okay, for the ribbon that hangs down, I do a gigantic L, and I give it a backdoor step. Hook on and go back home. Now you can decide if you want these trees. I'm going to put a line in there just showing stuff off in the distance, or you could draw other things in there. You could put a line right across, and as if there's, this is the foreground, that's the background. You could have a little building over there like a shop, and we could do that, but it just gets complicated. Well, it takes too long, and we don't have long time. For trees, they're basically triangles. Now I'm sketching this very, very light. Sometimes you'll find a stand of trees are all the same size, and sometimes they're different sizes. Okay, once you have the basic shape, Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Then it's like they have eyelashes. Just little flicks. Now, if you want to do a star, make an A. These are going to be small. Make an A, but when you put the centerpiece, stretch it out. And then you cross over from one hand to the other foot. From one hand to the other foot. And that'll work for a star. Once you get the hang of it, you can do it without lifting your pencil. If you want to see that again, I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. I'm not lifting my pencil. I do part of the A, cross over, flat, cross back. Maybe you can already do that, but if not, you can learn to do that with 5 minutes of practice, and yours will be better than mine. Because I get kind of sloppy with them sometimes. And all these trees don't have to have stars. I mean, I'm kind of being a little bit ridiculous back here. Like somebody went out on that stand of tree and put stars. But it's a good chance to practice stars. All my trees have stars. Alright, you could put the moon in there. Let me see, I need to finish this. Hang on. If this would come down, it'd probably go back out that way maybe. And you could put the moon in there if you want. But you don't have to. Alright, you can finish decorating your sleigh. You could double this line up. This would probably be a good line to double up. Let's see. Oh, I hope I don't ruin it. Yeah, this might work. This might work. But then it's also maybe a good idea just to leave well enough alone. If you want a 3D step, now just watch. You do a short line and just drop down a little bit. Just drop down a little bit and do a long line. Connect the ends. Now, to get the 3D effect, we need to drop down a little bit. Kind of a small step. I should have made it bigger. And it might be one of those, it's not solid, you know, it's like a gridded pattern of metal. And maybe not. Alright, well, now it's up to you to figure out your colors. Here's one, and I did color this one on the computer because I like experimenting with things, and I used a filter. It's called Crayon, and I kind of put some pattern in it. Anyway, choose your colors and color neatly. I hope it was fun.